Hi everyone, welcome back to another anatomy episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at your upper limb and lower limb ligaments. So please like and subscribe for more content. And now we're going to get into the ligaments that are around your scapular region. So first, I just want to go over some of the muscles. First, you have your supraspinatus muscle, which is this muscle right over here that is on the scapula and it is above the spine. Then you have the infraspinatus, which is this lower region over here. Your teres major is going to be like this bigger muscle over here, and it is going to sit above the teres minor, which is over here, and it's a little bit more deep. All right, so now moving on to the ligaments. First, you have your coracoclavicular ligament. This one is attached to the coracoid process of the scapula and the clavicle bone. So it runs vertically between those two bones. Then you have your acromioclavicular ligament. It's kind of like this little ball shape, and it's just this little portion over here. Coming down from it vertically and a little bit at an angle, you have your coracoacromial ligament. So together, these kind of like form a triangle, I would say. It's like one side over here, another, and then connected like that. Then you have the different tendons of your rotator cuff. So the acronym that I like to use for your rotator cuff is SITS. And the first muscle tendon that is in charge of this mnemonic is the supraspinatus muscle tendon. So supraspinatus. Then you have your infraspinatus, finally your teres minor, and then last but not least, you have the scapularis tendon. So basically, it's all named based upon the muscles. So you see your subscapularis muscle over here, your supraspinatus, your teres minor, and therefore it is very much the same with the muscle tendons that are part of the rotator cuff. All right, moving on, we're going to look at the hips. So the first tendon that we're going to look at is your anterior sacroiliac ligament. That is basically this big ligament over here. You can see a little bit more of it popping out from behind over here. So basically just like this whole region over there. Then we have the sacrotuberous ligament, which is deep to all of this. It forms kind of this triangle looking shape over here in the back. So this over here in the back, that is your sacrotuberous. You can also see it really nicely over here. This would also be the sacrotuberous ligament. Another one that we have is your inguinal ligament. It is this line that runs diagonally. So there's one over there, there's another here. That is your inguinal ligament. The sacrospinous ligament runs horizontally, and it is kind of from your sacrum to the different region of your hips. All right, another one that we are going to look at is your anterior longitudinal ligament. And this one is basically on your spine, and it just runs straight down from your vertebrae to your sacrum. Now we're going to take a look at your kind of ball and socket joint and the ligaments that are in charge over here for your hips. The first one is your iliofemoral ligament. The iliofemoral ligament is going to start here, and it's going to be this whole one over there. Then right below it, you have your ischiofemoral ligament. The ischiofemoral ligament is mostly just this one over here, because you also have your pubofemoral ligament, which is a little bit more deep to all of that. So the pubofemoral ligament is better seen on this side, and it would be this big ligament over there. All right, now we're going to move on to the knee. So the knee has mostly a lot of like menisci and lateral and medial ligaments that need to be known. So the first one is your lateral meniscus. The lateral meniscus is going to be this one over here. You know that it is the lateral side because this is like your inside of the knee, and over here you can see your fibula, and the fibula is always going to run laterally. So wherever your fibula is, you know that that is the lateral side. Over here, right next to it, you see a nice picture of a knee on a cadaver. So this would be the lateral meniscus, and you can see the spelling over here. So if you want to pause and take notes on that. Then we have the medial meniscus. The medial meniscus is going to be this little cushiony area over here. Medial meniscus. You have your anterior cruciate ligament, which is basically attached to your tibia and it connects to your knee and your patella and your femoral joint, and it runs a little bit more diagonally. So it's going to be this one right over here. You can see it better on this diagram. It's going to be this center ligament over here. And again, that is your anterior cruciate ligament. So that spelling right there. Next, you have your collateral ligaments. So the first one is your lateral collateral ligament, LCL as I like to call it. So the lateral one is going to be right over here on this side. This is your lateral collateral ligament, so it can also be seen over here on the model or on the cadaver. Then we have your medial collateral ligament, which is going to be on the other side, and it runs right along here. You can see it kind of connects to the tibia over here. So it does wrap around quite a bit. On the model, you can see it run all the way across, and then it connects on the tibia over there. Finally, we have the posterior cruciate ligament. This is basically just going to be a little bit more deep. You can see it back over here, and on the cadaver, it is over here, looking very fibrous and stringy, and that is your posterior cruciate ligament. All right, now we are going to go over the foot, which is the very last portion. So the first ligament that is good to know is your long plantar ligament. This is the one that runs directly along the bottom of the foot, right over here. And again, that is your long plantar ligament. Next, you have your interosseous tarsal ligaments. So the interosseous tarsal ligaments are basically just going to be all of these interwebbed ligaments over here that you can see. They kind of just form this very long, big network. So all of these guys. And for spelling, interosseous tarsal ligaments. All right. So next you have your anterior talofibular ligament. The talofibular ligament is going to connect to your fibula, and it is basically connecting your foot and ankle. So it's going to be this one right over there. And again, that is your anterior talofibular ligament. Now, you also have a calcaneofibular ligament. The calcaneofibular ligament is going to go straight down and it is connecting your fibula to your calcaneus. So you can kind of see in the back over here, this one that is a little bit more deep, that is going to be your calcaneofibular. All right. Now, that is most of the majority of them. You do have kind of a group that is called your deltoid ligament. It's a little bit harder to see over here, but it's basically all of the ligaments that are going to make up your ankle region. So, like this one over here, and all of these other ones, these would be considered deltoid ligaments. All right, so that is everything for this discussion and this video on ligaments. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns, video recommendations, please leave it in the comment section and I'll get back to you guys. Also, please like and subscribe for more content in the future. And if you need any anatomy tutoring, please just comment on the videos and I will get back to you with resources as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.